What's happening, Jeff Power? Episode 2 of this soon-to-be award-winning podcast.
Hey, man, I'm ready to rock and roll. Let's cut to the chase today.
We have a lot going on with the Greater Austin Sports Foundation. We wrapped up the speaker series luncheon. Thanks to you. You did a great job on the video piece, helped with, connections, and also with the video piece that you always crush. And
thank you.
Drive home what were all the great stories that Vic Schaefer had to tell. But now,
awesome. That was great, wasn't it? What a great speaker series.
I encourage everyone for the upcoming, probably will be in the spring or January or February at Rudy's off of North Lamar. Those are so much fun. The stories that you'll probably never hear in the local media.
Yeah.
Just because there's not enough time.
A lot of personal stuff. That's always good. It makes it more, you realize these are people. They're not just on a pedestal somewhere, right?
Vic Schaefer's stories about his son and his family and his journey back to where his birthplace, Austin, Texas, is.
It's been
pretty
amazing.
Cool. Before we dive into it, Jeff, I just want to encourage everybody to follow us on all of our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And that leads us to the event that is coming up on Tuesday, November 1st, that a lot of people, all hands are on deck here at the Greater Austin Sports Foundation. This is something that goes long before you and I probably ever thought about what we were going to do with our lives. In 1980, they started this, and it was the big sports foundation in Austin. And so a Hall of Honor, class of 2022, I want to pull up this graphic, and you've had the opportunity to not only tell their stories and get to meet them, but also to get them to know them on a personal level. Here are the 3 inductees that we will honor on Tuesday, November 1st. We'll begin with the young lady on the left, Stacy Bruce. What, I guess in a capsule form, bullet point, what is her story?
Well, let's begin with Variety, the children's charity. That's what she runs. And Peaceable Kingdom, that's a camp out near Colleen that I got a chance to visit. Special needs kids, but all types. Some are maybe missing limbs, or they might have various different types of setbacks. But really, it's an opportunity for them to get out here and move. That's the one thing that Stacy just really kind of pushes, is she wants all these kids understanding the importance of moving, as in being active. Don't just sit on the couch playing video games and things like that. Get out, meet other people just like you who have some of the same disabilities you have, and get an opportunity to just experience life. Everything from campfires to playing sports, ropes, and different types of putt-putt golf. They have a movie theater. It's amazing. Wow. You see the story if you come on out to the Austin Country Club on November 1st around 5:30 p.m.
Stacy, I've heard her story a little bit, and that really drives home. And it is basically, she fits the criteria of what this Hall of Honor is all about. Selfless individuals who continue to not only contribute, but not sacrifice, but they're quite passionate about what they do, and they make a difference. And Stacy Bruce is one of them. Now, we'll skip over to Glenn Liskey, significant figure in the Austin volleyball community.
Yes.
How long has he been involved, and what all have you learned that what he has done for young ladies in the Austin community?
Well, and young men too. Austin Juniors started in 1984. And for those who don't know, Glenn, of course, was an assistant coach at the University of Texas on the volleyball staff, and got a chance. He actually was from Minnesota, went to school up there, and as they say, got to Texas as quickly as he could. And he realized when he got here that we didn't really have a junior program. And so he brought in Austin Juniors, and that kind of caught this Central Texas area up to speed when it comes to volleyball. And I would say a big reason why the University of Texas has had a lot of success in volleyball, because they get a chance to see all these young ladies and these young men up close and personal playing volleyball. And now we learned that the University of Texas is actually going to have a beach volleyball team here in the coming year, I believe it is. And as I mentioned before, Glenn is not only his role of helping out the young women, but also the young men as well, and to get them in places where they can go perform and play volleyball at the next level, and maybe even for the USA national team, which he was a part of that as well.
No, that's significant. A guy's name I've heard. I really have not had an opportunity to truly meet him, but you know, when you're involved in the sports scene and just in the community of Austin, you know, he's one of those names that at some point, probably over a dozen times, you hear his name tied, especially to this rich talented volleyball community. And because if you look at UT volleyball, what they've done, and they have recruited local, you know, periodically over the years, dating back to way back in Mick Haley's years.
That's right.
To now, where Jared Elliott is really
well, and he was on Mick Haley's staff. So, yeah, and, you know, a couple of championships. You know, they won one back in '88 and then a little bit more recently here. And I feel like the thing is, the University of Texas has been great at volleyball for a long time.
Yes.
But they had to recruit out of the state, you know, for the most part. And now that's all changed. And now they can recruit here in the state of Texas as well as anybody, obviously. And you know, as Mac Brown used to always tell us, you know, you want to make sure you close the borders of Texas. Those really good volleyball players here, you know, and then at the same time, you know, I mean, some of the elite players at the University of Texas, of course, are from Florida and California, where volleyball is, you know, just number one. But I think, you know, the thing about Glenn that I learned the most was he surrounds himself with good people. And I think that's the story with all three of these folks that we're honoring on Tuesday night. But Glenn's a great person. And, you know, Austin Juniors is right over there by St. Edward's University. And they've got 40 teams in the area, and they're just really competitive. Quite a few national championships, I believe 8 to be exact. So, you know, when you see some of the video in this story on Glenn, you're going to be amazed because, you know, a lot of these young people can simply just spike the ball you wouldn't believe, but it takes a good libero, a good setter, all that stuff too. You know, it's a team sport, no doubt about it.
Well, team sports, the lady in the middle. She is a legend, a Longhorn legend, a pioneer. And before you and I cannot wait to hear what you have to say about it because you've gotten to know her on an intimate level, personal level, you and I both. But I think you and I can pretty much say the same things. But here recently, we were able to interview Vic Schaefer about what it means to coach the program that Jody, for the most part, truly put on the national map. When you think of legends of the game of women's basketball or basketball in general, I mean, Jody Conrad is one of those. I know the undefeated season in 1986, but she's one of those pioneers that helped elevate this game from, what was it, AIWA? I get my acronyms mixed up, to where it is now.
Well, I mean, I think we all know she is absolutely a Hall of Famer, and what I've really enjoyed being back here is just seeing her, maybe not daily, but weekly, and just getting to be around someone who has so much knowledge and expertise, and is such a great lady. Man, what a wonderful person. I've really enjoyed just our talks about, you know, not necessarily basketball, but other things. And so, you know, she's a Hall of Famer in really a whole bunch of areas. But when you talk about what she's done and impacted our game, the young women that she's impacted throughout the course of her life and her career, I mean, it's unmatched in my mind. And again, I'm honored to be entrusted with her program in my mind. And, you know, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with it, and I don't take it lightly.
Jeff, that speaks volumes of the woman, because if you go back to tell her story, I mean, she's the pride of Goldthwaite, Texas, played at Baylor. First job is at Sam Houston, really did a pretty decent job. And then Texas Arlington, and she had two rebuilding years, if you will. And all of a sudden, she's winning 20 games. Then they hire her at Texas, and 10 years later, she wins a national championship and elevated the program and the game.
Yeah, and think about this. I mean, her first year at the University of Texas, they were still playing at Gregory Gym.
That's right.
So there you go. And then they moved over to the Irwin Center, of course, and she was right around that same time as Abe Lemons. Has amazing stories, and at one point, I think they were out. They were getting more attendance than the men were at UT.
Yeah,
and that's probably because of the 1986 season, national champions, undefeated. But she always recruited so well, and she's such a wonderful person. I mean, I'm really, I'm excited to tell her story. I mean, the gymnasium there in Goldthwaite is named after her. She's, like we always say, that she gives great interviews. She knows how to recruit. She knows how to really find those little things that help her players play the best they can possibly play. And, just an amazing woman. I was at some of her milestone games, win number 800, win number 900. Those were all just marquee moments. And, if you think about it, she's in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. I mean, there's not too many women's basketball coaches in the Naismith Hall of Fame, and she's one of them. And, that speaks volumes all in itself. And you know what? I'll just say it. She looks really good, too. She is out and about
as well,
active, playing golf all the time, and really just getting involved. Goes to all the football games at the University of Texas. I love her personality, and she's just really just a wholesome person, and I really enjoy just talking to her. She's so fun-loving and easy to talk to.
Any day that includes Jody Conrad crossing paths with her is your day. It's a better day. It really is. Moving on to three others that really you have played a significant role of telling their stories. The scholar athletes, and they will also be honored Tuesday night at Austin Country Club. And to introduce these three, there's a brief synopsis. We'll go right to left on this one. Okay. Aaron Gall of Bowie High School.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he plays football, basketball, he might even run track. He's headed to the Colorado School of Mines. Mm-hmm. And he's one of those kids that you see number 18 everywhere on the football field, because he's not only lining up as a defensive end, he plays he's the deep snapper, on special teams. And so he's just heavily involved. And of course, he's also he's a tight end / receiver. He kind of plays that slot receiver position, if you will, but they list him as a tight end. Yeah. But, he's on a lot of stats. He's out there on the field running around, doing a lot of things. And most importantly, has a really good grade point average, and near the top of his class. So those are the little things that matter, and why he's a scholar athlete. He's a good person. He's going to get into engineering just like his father and his older brother, who also played at Bowie. And, of course, under the tutelage of Jeff Abels, he really does a great job of turning these young guys into men. Coach
Abels, a significant. He should be in the Greater Austin Sports Foundation Hall of Honor at some point. He's got both of us endorsing him, supporting him without a doubt. A little FYI, he was a coach at Anderson my freshman year. He coached us when we were freshmen.
Yeah, coached at Travis, also coached, of course, at Bowie under Tommy Cox, and then became the head coach in I want to say the late 80s. So it's those guys have kind of not too many coaches over at Bowie High School over the years.
Hey, a lot of winning, a lot of success, tradition, and expectations when you play any type of compete for Bowie. Now, the young lady in the middle, LBJ, tradition-rich, proud community, boys and girls athletes. It's really amazing. That's a story in itself. The LBJ story. Mm-hmm. Mary Bonner probably has a Hall of Honor smile to go with this honor that she will receive next week. What is her story?
Well, you know what? Obviously, basketball is her main sport, but she also runs track, and she's really involved. She actually wants to get into just helping children. So she's going to study, kind of between maybe psychology, psychiatry, that kind of stuff, and really get in the minds of helping children out, which I think is really neat. And then, the fact that she's a really good athlete that has been a leader for LBJ on the floor for a while. She runs that point guard position and has done a really nice job with LBJ. I actually expect them to do big things this year in the fall. Her head coach over there, Coach Roberson, has been telling me that she thinks this could be the team that'll make a really long run, as far as making a state championship run. But they've got a winnable district, and they've got the talent. And most importantly, check this out. I think she's either number 2 or 1 right now in her entire class at LBJ. So that speaks volumes. She's already taking courses that are lined into Austin Community College now. And
brilliant.
She's a senior at LBJ. So she's really kind of got her future set. She wants to follow in the footsteps of her mother, who's done some amazing things and is also involved with not only with helping children and stuff, but just good people, you know what I mean, that really want to help out and basically inspire others.
Hey, just like other schools like Old Anderson and Old Reagan, which is Northeast, those communities, the East Side, it's not just athletes. There are some tremendous people like Mary Bonner and her mother who are going to make a difference in this world. And as far as their careers and their passions on the side, because there is a long list when you want to look at LBJ Jaguars, who are, if you want to use the term, like UT uses, what starts here changes the world. Well, there are a long list of LBJ Jaguars who are changing the world.
There are. And Jamal Fenner, too, the athletic director there, does such a great job, so involved. In fact, Jamal Fenner is the one who suggested that we
love that guy.
Basically talked to Mary Bonner about being a scholar athlete. It was a no-brainer the minute I saw the statistics and the numbers and then met her in person. It was a no-brainer, definitely well-deserved.
Yeah, well-deserved. And so the last, but definitely not least, Adam Shantz. Is that how you say his last name?
It is, yeah. Lake Travis goalie. In fact, when they won the state championship, he was just a sophomore, in the spring, because now he's a junior. And the other two, by the way, are seniors, I should mention. But Adam was the most valuable player at the state tournament. The 2 games that were in Georgetown did not allow a goal in regulation. Now, of course, they went to the shootout there in their last game, and that's where he really earned the honors. He had to make a couple of big saves. And Lake Travis, the boys won the state championship. It's the first time in Class 6A that a boys team has won a soccer title here in the Austin area. So those kids were excited. I don't know if you got a chance to actually go to that event. I said it that night, and I'll say it again. It was one of the most thrilling events I've ever been at. And I am a soccer fan, you know that. But I definitely felt like that would rival any football, baseball, basketball, you name it, sport game I've ever seen. That one was just an incredible match with so much intensity, so much on the line. These high school kids put it all out there. And Lake Travis just, people think of them as a football school, but hey, there you go. There's a soccer championship to throw in there too.
They have a lot of gold balls, state championship plaques, if you will.
They do. And Adam makes great grades as well, near the top of his class. And he's the youngest of these 3, but he's got a bright future ahead of him. He wants to play soccer in college, but, he knows in the big picture that he's going to be probably in the business world here in the next 5 or 6 years. And he's already preparing himself for that.
Oh, he will succeed. That's one thing that's instilled in Lake Travis.
That is true.
Success, pressure to succeed on the court, field, whatnot, but pressure to succeed outside once you start your career. And to your point, UIL state soccer tournament or state tournament at Birkelbach Field or Stadium in Georgetown is one of the most – it's a severely underrated event. I agree with you. I'm not a soccer guy, but I enjoy going to that. It's a great atmosphere, great stadium for it.
It is.
And a lot of parking, and that's key.
Yes, plenty of parking, and they allow the media on the field. That's good, too.
Yeah, simply visit GreaterAustinSportsFoundation.org. You don't have to capitalize the G, the A, and the S, and the F. Just whatever you want. GreaterAustinSportsFoundation.org. Scroll down, Hall of Honor, click on the link, and purchase your ticket.
When you have that many letters, it's good to break them up, And it's going to be a lot of fun. We were out there last year, same time, same bat channel, if you will. And it was a lot of fun. You'll get a chance to see all 6 of these stories. Yeah. But, a meal. In fact, hey, Eddie Reese is going to be there too. Let's not forget him.
Legend.
University of Texas, swimming and diving coach. I mean, legendary, went into our Hall of Honor last year. But he'll be one of our keynote speakers, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Bob Ballou, he's our MC, and Bob does such a great job over at KI, and he's really been a big fixture for the Greater Austin Sports Foundation the last few years as well. Bob
is his commitment to the GASF, as we like to acronym it up. Bob is a key part of our team, our family, if you will. And the guy does a lot for the Austin community, just period. But we really are appreciative of his generosity. And to second what you said, Eddie Reese, for those who are saying, I've heard that name. Well, he's the GOAT of college swimming coaches. And the guy is a tremendous, I can't emphasize that enough, a tremendous storyteller.
That's true. Yeah. And if you think about it, of course, the Greater Austin Sports Foundation is going to have a Longhorn-centric kind of feel to it. But this is going to be a lot of Longhorns in the crowd tonight or Monday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tuesday night, excuse me. And it'll be an opportunity really to definitely hook them horns. That's for sure.
That is. And to honor these great high school athletes. And here's what I love about this. I know I had a Lake Travis student athlete, but to see AISD student athletes be honored after everything that there's so much negativity that's a stigma to AISD currently because of politics. There are a lot of amazing stories in AISD that are not told. Yeah. And thanks to you, Jeff Power, you're telling some amazing stories which are part of the products of AISD.
Well, very good. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it is the Greater Austin Sports Foundation, and we kind of went out of our way this year to make sure that we knew where the home base was, and that was Austin, Texas. And we got a great group, no doubt about it.
Looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday nights.
Yes,
and
me too. Look forward to seeing you as well.
Storyteller as well, if you don't mind. Come up. If you visit, purchase your ticket. And just come up and say hi to all of us. Meet the
entire team. Have some fun.
Grab a cocktail if you like.
Yeah.
And introduce yourself and meet these fine scholar athletes and our 3 Halls of Honor inductees. And Jeff, I appreciate it, man. I can't wait for this and to tell the story of the Greater Austin Sports Foundation as we move forward, especially with this. Hey, what's happening with the GASF podcast?